We knew that Lockheed Martin had this material for decades. I tried to get access and I was denied. Like two dinner plates, smushed together, right? The hump, and there's like a, like a bubble on top.
The classic,
like that.
You might already know that this year the U.S. Congress confirmed the existence of aliens following David Grush's compelling presentation of undeniable evidence, as well as the revelation of secret U.S. military UFO programs. While numerous books and theories have sought to explore the presence of extraterrestrial beings and their interactions with eyewitnesses, it was former intelligence officer David Grusch's revelations that proved to be the final straw. But there's more. Recently, he was invited as a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, where he joined forces with Joe Rogan to shed light on previously hidden evidence of aliens recovered from crash sites. So, what exactly is this shocking evidence that's still hidden from the public, and what implications does this have? Let's find out. The universe, with its billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars, has led many scientists to consider the possibility of life existing beyond Earth. However, despite this speculation, there has been a lack of concrete evidence to support such claims. Over the past century, numerous reports of human encounters with aliens have surfaced, with eyewitnesses sharing their experiences. Regrettably, these accounts have been dismissed by the government as mere hearsay. However, a recent development has emerged during an open hearing with the U.S. Congress, where David Grusch, a decorated former combat officer and veteran of the Pentagon's intelligence community, along with two former U.S. Navy aviators, Ryan Graves and David Fravor, presented compelling evidence regarding multiple alien encounters, secret U.S. military programs related to UFO equipment, and government cover-ups. Renowned commentator and podcaster Joe Rogan invited Grusch to reveal previously hidden UFO evidence. Stay tuned to find out the shocking evidence presented by Joe Rogan and David Grusch to the public. But before we delve into that, let's provide some necessary context. Throughout the course of history, remarkable artifacts known as out-of-place artifacts, UPARTs, have been unearthed in various locations around the globe, defying conventional expectations regarding their assigned age and temporal context. Picture this: an AK-47 rifle, an emblem of modern warfare, was discovered buried a staggering 200 feet beneath the Earth's surface, with an age dating back 500 years. The incongruity is palpable, for the AK-47 was not even conceived until the year 1947. Yet, astonishingly numerous instances of these anachronistic artifacts have emerged, capturing the attention of scientific minds worldwide. In 1991, a collection of tiny coil-shaped artifacts was stumbled upon near a riverbank in Russia, lying at a depth of approximately 40 feet. These enigmatic objects exhibited an intricacy and sophistication reminiscent of our own technological prowess. However, geological dating methods revealed their astonishing antiquity, placing them at a mind-boggling age of around 230,000 years. Adding further intrigue, the material composition of these artifacts bore a striking resemblance to components produced through the intricate field of nanotechnology. One cannot help but ponder the perplexing question: how could humanity have possessed the technical knowledge and tools to fabricate such marvels 100 millennia ago? The only plausible explanation points toward the existence of an advanced civilization that may transcend the limits of our terrestrial realm. Yet, reports concerning extraterrestrial phenomena are not confined to ancient scrolls and artifacts. Modern-day sightings of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, have become a recurrent and intriguing occurrence, particularly within the United States. In recent times, the city of Las Vegas bore witness to an extraordinary event. Local police officers found themselves responding to a 911 emergency call as residents reported sightings of peculiar green beings in their neighborhood. Astonishingly, one of the officers admitted to witnessing an object resembling a shooting star descending and landing in the distance. Moreover, several locals attested to encountering towering, otherworldly entities measuring an impressive height of 8 to 9 feet, their complexion an eerie shade of green. For decades, Americans have encountered what are known as unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, leaving an indelible mark on their collective consciousness. From the arid landscapes of New Mexico to the sun-drenched shores of Florida, numerous individuals have experienced first-hand encounters that they firmly believe to be of extraterrestrial origin. Regrettably, these accounts often find themselves shrouded in secrecy or dismissed by governmental authorities, perpetuating a disheartening cycle where concrete evidence and footage of these encounters remain hidden from public scrutiny. A revealing poll conducted by Congress unveiled a staggering statistic. Approximately 68% of Americans hold suspicions that the government is concealing vital information regarding UAPs. Another poll shed light on a profound discontent among Americans with the government's handling of UFO reports, even when these eyewitness testimonies originate from reputable figures such as medical professionals, scientists, and civil servants. It seems that, all too frequently, the government opts for silence rather than transparency when faced with these captivating accounts. Before we explore Joe Rogan and David Grusch's revelation, it's important to understand some context. Enter Bob Lazar, a man who boldly declared that he had been recruited in the late 1980s to work at the enigmatic Area 51, driven by a truly astonishing purpose: to unravel the secrets of extraterrestrial spacecraft through reverse engineering. In 1997, long before the scientific community officially synthesized element 115, Bob Lazar asserted that the captured alien craft he studied at Area 51 was powered by an antimatter reactor fueled by a stable form of this very element. It is worth noting that element 115 was not synthesized on Earth until 2003, and even today, our ability to stabilize it remains tenuous at best. According to Lazar, the reactor he examined was crowned by a sphere approximately the size of a basketball, emitting a force field with the power to repel human flesh. The craft itself was divided into two primary levels. The reactor resided at the heart of the upper level, sporting an antenna that extended towards the pinnacle, while being enveloped by three strange gravity amplifiers. These gravity amplifiers, as Lazar explained, served as guides for the gravity waves that enveloped the entire craft, coalescing into a heart-shaped formation that tapered towards the bottom. These amplifiers were connected to gravity emitters situated on the lower level, which possessed the ability to rotate 180 degrees, thereby emitting an anti-gravity wave. This extraordinary technology enabled the craft to traverse through a distorted field, with the belly leading the way. Essentially, Bob Lazar postulated that flying saucers maneuver in a sideways fashion, rather than upright, thanks to their adaptable engines, which grant the craft unparalleled freedom of movement in any direction. Remarkably, Lazar also claimed to have perused briefing documents detailing Earth's historical interaction with extraterrestrial entities over the past 10,000 years. These beings were described as the archetypal gray aliens, often depicted as small in stature, resembling children. Intriguingly, Lazar even claimed to have seen cadavers of similar dimensions. Curiously, all the organizations that Bob Lazar purportedly worked for or studied under have vehemently denied his association with them. However, George Knapp, an esteemed American journalist who diligently investigated Lazar's claims, attested that Lazar possessed an intimate knowledge of the facilities that could only be acquired through first-hand experience. Naturally, some individuals contend that these denials are mere components of an elaborate cover-up. Detractors have gone so far as to dismiss Lazar as an inexperienced technician. Yet this judgment fails to acknowledge his impressive feats. Bob Lazar, after all, constructed a jet car as a personal project and garnered media coverage for his innovative creations. Clearly, he has the expertise of a distinguished engineer. Moreover, Lazar unwaveringly stated that a biometric hand scanner, which measured bone length, served as the means for authorization and access to the base. Initially refuted by the government, this claim was eventually vindicated when the Department of Defense acknowledged the use of such technology at Area 51 in the 1980s. specifically for the stealth fighter program. Bob Lazar confirmed that the declassified scanner matched the one he had encountered. What was the evidence that made Congress confirm the existence of aliens? Congressman Tim Burchett, while addressing Congress, revealed the difficult journey he undertook to uncover the truth about UFOs. He mentioned that numerous individuals, including fellow congressmen, have approached him to share their first-hand encounters. In 2023, the U.S. Congress initiated a groundbreaking public hearing driven by a desire to address the UAP phenomenon and provide a platform for pilots to share their inexplicable encounters with the world. Notably, this initiative was independent of the U.S. government and aimed to assist affected pilots, civil servants, and citizens. Former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe candidly acknowledged during a CNN interview that the U.S. government possessed far more information about aliens and UFOs than it had disclosed to the public. He lamented the prolonged period during which people had been left in the dark, igniting Congress's resolve to shed light on the hidden truths surrounding aliens. Before testifying at the hearing, witnesses were solemnly sworn in. The first witness, Lieutenant Ryan Graves, a former U.S. Navy F-18 pilot and current executive director of Americans for Safe Aerospace, addressed the committee on behalf of himself and over 30 commercial air personnel and military veterans who had shared their extraordinary encounters with him. Graves emphasized that such sightings were no longer rare, as both military and commercial pilots frequently encountered UAPs, posing significant concerns given the risks these individuals faced during their encounters. Furthermore, Graves expressed unease at the government's tendency to discredit eyewitness reports and excessively classify information that could enlighten the public about aliens and unexplained aerial phenomena. Drawing from his personal experience, Graves recounted an encounter with an advanced UAP in 2014. While serving as an F-18 Foxtrot pilot in the Navy, Graves detected anomalous objects on radar after completing jet upgrades in Virginia Beach. These objects, resembling dark gray cubes within clear spheres, approached the aircraft nearby, leaving Graves and his team perplexed. Despite their commander's order to return to base, the incident received no further mention or avenue for reporting. Such recurring sightings, accompanied by superiors briefing pilots on the risks associated with UAP encounters, prompted Graves to establish Americans for Safe Aerospace, an organization offering UAP eyewitnesses a secure platform to share their experiences. Most reports received by the organization originate from seasoned pilots who observe these UFOs in lower Earth orbit or at altitudes of 40,000 feet. The second witness to testify was David Grusch, a former senior intelligence officer with the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. Grusch made a remarkable admission during his testimony, revealing that he had been an active whistleblower and a member of the UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, Task Force. He disclosed that he had received numerous reports from multiple members of the federal intelligence community, indicating that the government was operating in secrecy regarding UAPs. Furthermore, Grusch shared that several esteemed civil servants had approached him with information about UAPs, providing photographic evidence and official documentation to support their claims. The weight of these revelations was significant. It became apparent that a culture of secrecy had permeated the government, with high-ranking officials withholding crucial information about UAPs. During his years of service, Grusch stumbled upon something even more astonishing. He learned about a purported UAP reverse engineering program that had allegedly been ongoing for decades. This revelation implied that the government had been attempting to decipher and replicate alien technology. However, Grusch himself was denied access to these classified files, leaving him with limited knowledge of the extent of this program. Grusch's decision to blow the whistle on these matters was met with severe retaliation from his colleagues and superiors. Despite the backlash, he expressed his hope that his courageous actions would contribute to greater transparency regarding UAPs and the government's handling of such phenomena. The third witness to take the stand was David Fravor, a retired Navy commander. Fravor recounted a gripping encounter with a UAP that he referred to as the Tic Tac. This incident occurred in 2004 when he served as the commanding officer of the Navy Strike Fighter Squadron 41. On that eventful day, Fravor and his wingman were abruptly called back while preparing for air training. They were informed that their training would be suspended in favor of a mission to investigate an unidentified object in midair. The controller providing instructions to Fravor and his team did not possess any knowledge about the nature of the object, underscoring the mystery surrounding it. According to Fravor, the strange object had been observed on radar for over 2 weeks. It exhibited a peculiar behavior, descending to an altitude of 20,000 feet before soaring up to altitudes exceeding 80,000 feet. This meant that the object was entering and retreating from outer space, defying conventional aircraft capabilities. Upon reaching the designated location, Fravor and his team noticed a curious phenomenon, a disturbance in the water below, appearing as white water. This occurrence was unusual, as it was a clear and bright day, eliminating any possibility of weather-related mirages. Directing their gaze downward, they observed a small white Tic Tac-shaped object maneuvering over the water with unpredictable movements akin to a ping-pong ball. What perplexed them was the absence of visible rotors or control surfaces that could account for the object's agility. Driven by curiosity, Fravor decided to approach the Tic Tac for a closer examination. The object was hovering approximately 12,000 feet below them. As they closed in on it, the object abruptly turned to face their direction, as if aware of their presence. Closing the distance to within half a mile, the object accelerated rapidly and vanished right before their eyes. Astonishingly, the whitewater disturbance also disappeared simultaneously. One of Fravor's wingmen, positioned 8,000 feet above them, also lost contact with the enigmatic objects. Just as they were preparing to return, the controller alerted them that the object had been sighted 60 miles away from their location. This revelation occurred merely a minute after the object's perplexing disappearance. This left Fravor and his team with 2 possible explanations. Either the object possessed incredible speed, or it had the ability to vanish without a trace. Unfortunately, the true nature of the object remains unknown to this day. Remarkably, despite the significance of the encounter, the incident was never formally investigated. Even Fravor's roommates, who were present during the event, never inquired about the details of the encounter. It was not until 2009, 5 years later, that the incident received any official attention. However, efforts were made to keep the related documents classified, further obscuring the truth behind this extraordinary event. Following their testimonies before Congress, the 3 witnesses fielded questions. It was evident that they chose their words carefully, taking great care not to provoke any agency or the government. Nonetheless, they conceded that the government and its associated agencies possess a wealth of information that has been withheld from the public. It is worth noting that government agencies implicated in the withholding of information encompass not only the CIA, FBI, and other Secret Service organizations, but also extend to other agencies like NASA. What did Joe Rogan and David Grusch reveal about UFOs that were previously hidden from us? David Grusch, a former combat officer and Pentagon intelligence veteran turned whistleblower, delves into a fascinating chapter of UFO history in a conversation with Joe Rogan. According to Grusch, mysterious objects have been making unexpected landings or crashing in various locations worldwide, catching several countries off guard. In 1933, a strange event unfolded in the Lombardy region of northern northwest Italy. A UFO, resembling a lenticular disc, crashed and morphed into a bell or acorn-shaped artifact. The Italian authorities were confused, prompting them to seek assistance from the Germans. The Germans, intrigued but disclaiming ownership, collaborated with the Italians to examine the mysterious artifact. The aftermath of the crash raised questions about whether it was a drone or an occupied vehicle. However, the absence of any biological remnants inside left the answer open-ended. This incident not only highlighted the collaborative efforts between nations, but also hinted at the scientific and military curiosity surrounding such events. When asked about witnesses, Grush admits his lack of certainty, but suggests that some Italian researchers may have information from oral accounts or documents that were previously concealed. The scale of the vehicle, approximately 20 feet by 10 feet, indicates a significant size, prompting further intrigue. The artifact's fate took an interesting turn, as Grush reveals that the U.S. military eventually seized it towards the end of World War II. He connects this event to a behind-the-scenes collaboration involving figures like Pope Pius X, the Vatican, and the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, which later evolved into the CIA. As the conversation unfolds, Joe Rogan probes deeper into the motives behind studying these crashed artifacts. Grush explains that the initial goal is to understand the situation at hand, and he draws parallels to the Manhattan Project's successful use of secrecy during atomic bomb development. The overarching theme, according to Grush, is a reverse engineering program spanning over 90 years, aimed at gleaning insights and innovations from recovered technology. While Grush refrains from divulging specific details due to security concerns, he acknowledges the inspiration drawn from these artifacts for classified U.S. defense programs. Joe Rogan probes further into the complexities of what Grush can discuss and why. Grush explains the careful scrutiny of any material related to U.S. government activities, requiring submission through the security review process. Returning to the historical narrative, Grush confirms that the Italy incident in 1933 was one of the early cases and subtly alludes to the potential existence of even earlier incidents. He underscores the significance of his role as a fact witness, driven by a constitutional oversight issue regarding the inadequate reporting of the program to Congress. The conversation takes an intriguing turn when Grush recounts his meeting with the late Senator Harry Reid in 2021. Reid, a former majority leader and a member of the Gang of Eight, revealed his long-standing knowledge of UFO materials and his efforts to gain access. Grush details Reid's disclosure that Lockheed Martin held such materials for decades, and the government denied Reid access. The discussion reveals the intricate layers of secrecy and the hurdles faced by even high-ranking officials. In sharing his experiences, Grush navigates the complexities of disclosure, emphasizing his commitment to protecting national security while shedding light on a subject that has been shrouded in secrecy for decades. However, the upcoming weeks will see the U.S. Congress holding numerous hearings in an attempt to uncover undisclosed truths about aliens and unidentified aerial phenomena. Unfortunately, it may prove challenging to secure credible witnesses who are willing to testify boldly, similar to the individuals who have spoken up in the past. This reluctance stems from the risks associated with being a whistleblower. When questioned about potential consequences or threats, one witness discreetly acknowledged that both he and his entire family had faced such dangers. Nonetheless, he remains willing to take the risk because he firmly believes that people have a right to transparency. The problem arises when potential witnesses are too afraid to come forward due to the fear of retaliation or losing their jobs. It is worth noting that most whistleblowers who have shared crucial information about alien encounters have done so anonymously, concealing their identities and withholding their names. Unfortunately, the U.S. government often dismisses or discredits such cases as mere stories or conspiracies. Consequently, the U.S. Congress has recognized the significance of the matter and intends to approach it seriously by inviting credible members of society. Thanks for watching another episode of Beyond Discovery. While you're still here, click on the other videos you see on your screen right now.